You want to introduce the dual Star Spangled Banner, or just I'll go to you after it's over? You want to say something like, "Here's the Star Spangled"? No,
We
I'll just
both will be able to time it.
yeah, I'll just get the that. Waiting for them to line up. Yep, they look like they're lining up, so I'm gonna. No, I'm still seeing moms and. Yep, I see the flowers. I see the parents. Hmm? Probably at least three. So I'm gonna put that may be number 4. Seeing one girl hanging over there. Looks like a boy.
I don't have the pumpkin starting with it. Who would have seen it not starting? So Overshot interrupted. There's 7, that's 3.
Right.
King's 4, Charlie's 5. Oh. Let's see. Gardino is hurt. Look at it. All right.
You all ready?
I think so. See if I can find it. Welcome to Hopkinton High School, the turf baseball complex for tonight's very important TVL large matchup between the Hopkinton Hillers and the Westwood Wolverines. My name is Steve Simos and joined once again by my coaching and teaching colleague, Brett Mulvey. Welcome, Brett.
Thank you for having me again, Coach. It's a beautiful night here in our Hopkinton Fields, and I'm a pleasure to join you again.
Yeah, so Tom Nappy and HCAM warmly welcomed us back for our there's a conflict tonight between softball and baseball once again, so they had to bring in the B team. But tonight they got us on a very big game. It's Westwood at 13-6 and Hopkinton at 11-6. But most importantly, as my mother is ringing in, most importantly, the two teams are ranked very highly in Division II as they're playing tonight for placement in the state rankings. Hopkinton currently comes in at number 7 in Division II, and Westwood is a couple slots higher at number 5. Those rankings really do determine quite a bit about first-round byes and who you're going to be playing down the road. Unfortunately for both these teams, yesterday the Tri-Valley League Large was wrapped up by the team we covered last time, Holliston Panthers, and they won the TVL for the first time in 32 years, way back when you were likely in the TVL.
Probably a little bit right after I left, because I remember last time we said I wasn't in the Tri-Valley League, way back in the Reagan administration. So close,
Yep.
right around there.
So we're ready to begin here, and as we go, we're a little behind. We're going to go around the starting lineup for both teams as we proceed. Leading off, first of all, for the Westwood Wolverines. Let me get my notices straight here. Excuse me, can't find my stuff. Leading off for the Westwood Wolverines is number 4. He is a freshman catcher, Jonathan Bertone. Right-handed hitter. It's a soft ground ball. Dive by Ray Robichaud. Comes up, fires to first, just a little bit late. Great play by Ray. So that's a big leadoff situation for Westwood, getting the leadoff runner on. They're a heavy senior-laden team, but their leadoff hitter and starting catcher is a freshman. Now batting for Westwood is number 11. He is a senior, first baseman Sean Garvin. Runner fakes. It's a strike. Very quick feet behind the plate by Peter Mahone. So Charlie stays ahead at no balls and 1 strikes. Kicks and delivers. Just a bit low and away. So the count sits now at 1-1 on Garvin. I'd be redundant probably to say that both coaches said Garvin, Hurley, and Sullivan are the keys to the Westwood lineup. And we see it right there, a line shot to right field, cut off nicely by Jack Interante. Brings it into Joe Carrazza, and Westwood is off and running. First and second, nobody out. I was saying Garvin, Hurley, and Sullivan in the middle of the lineup, but they're the leaders, which is not different from most baseball teams. You hit 2, 3, and 4, your best players. Now batting is the shortstop, Kevin Hurley. Kevin is a senior, widely praised by coaches around the league as one of the better players in the league. He's going on to play at a very highly acclaimed D3 program, Babson College. Nice off-speed pitch by Charlie, fouled away. Count is even at 1-1. Having a little technical difficulty here, but we'll try to figure it out. Inside move thrown into center field, backed up nicely by Connor Hallenbach. You'll see a heavily senior-laden team on the field for the Hillers as they are starting, I believe, in 7 of the 9 spots. They are starting seniors on this senior night here in Hopkinton. Late call by the umpire, but the fastball sends the count to 2-1. Or 1-2. I don't think they have the scoreboard operating. Off-speed pitch, driven to right center. That's deep. That could get by. Angle taken by Connor Hallenbach. Ball's in. That's going to be 2 runs for Westwood as Hurley lives up to his reputation and drives a long opposite field double, driving in 2. So not a great start for the Hillers right now, and exactly what the Westwood staff was hoping for. One of their better hitters now, Danny Sullivan, senior right fielder, another right-handed hitter at the plate. Nobody out and a runner on second base. Off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1. Another off-speed pitch, low and away, taken for a ball, and the count is now 1-1. And we're just going to have to kind of battle our way through it, Coach, because we're not getting any updates on the scoreboard, so we're going to have to watch really closely here. Again, ball and away. I believe it's 2-1. Timeout called. So there are runners on second and third for the Hillers. The trail runner with nobody out was held by the third base coach wisely. Again, the ball delivered low by Charlie Simulus. Westwood looking to load the bases with nobody out in the top of the first inning. Charlie comes set and delivers. Again, low and away. That's ball 4.
Not the way the Hillers wanted to start here tonight, huh, Coach, on senior night?
Absolutely not. And now the starting pitcher for Westwood, Elliot Harris, is also a key component of the lineup. He had 3 hits against the Hillers last time in a victory over at Westwood, so you got to love this spot as a hitter. Fastball must have been just a bit inside. 1-0 to Elliot Harris. Bases loaded, nobody out. Garvin is the runner at third. Hurley at second. And Sullivan at first. 2-0 to count at Elliot Harris. Great pitchers. Great hitter spot right now. Ooh, a little disagreement there, but 3-0. Nowhere to put him. Got a challenge. I don't think you'll see a green light here. Charlie hasn't proven he has his command yet. Fastball again. High and inside, and that walks in another run.
And Coach Anderson has started up his bullpen behind us, Coach.
And making a trip to the mound. So I believe we have left-hand junior Matt Gaughan warming up in the bullpen. This is where the phrase limit damage comes to play. You want to get out of this. You're not going to get out of here unscathed. Already given up 2 runs. You have the bases loaded, nobody out. You want to minimize this as much as you possibly. Use these runners to help you with force plays. Try to throw strikes, get the ball put in play. Because right now you're facing another senior, a DH, number 13, Patrick Casavant. Patrick tonight is hitting for their third baseman, Charlie Martin. Coach Zach imploring the outfield to make all balls cuttable. Telling him he wants to take care of the baseball, not turn 2 runs into 3. Right now it's 2-0, bases loaded, nobody out. And the scoreboard reads nothing, and no count, and we're not getting any
No.
assistance here. So a couple of rookies are going to have to swim in the deep end. Swing fouled off by Cassavant. And I apologize, but I'm not sure of the count. Charlie's going out of the wind. Typically wouldn't do that and give the runner at second a walking lead. But he's just trying to do whatever he can. That ball gets away from the catcher high. And Kevin Hurley walks home with the Wolverines' third run of the game. So runners on second and third. Still nobody out for Patrick Cassavant. And we'll see if Charlie goes back to the windup or from the stretch. He's going to the wind. At this point, you want him to be as comfortable as possible. Kicks and he fires. Went to his breaking pitch. Here it is again, Coach, with not taking care of the baseball right there. So what happened is Charlie throws a breaking pitch in a key situation, gets a swing and a miss. Peter Mahone, very active behind the plate, throws behind the runner at second base. A little bit late, but more importantly, the key fourth run walks home for Westwood. And we're now situation single through the right side. They're going to try it. Throw to the plate is perfect.
Nice
And there's
play.
your limited damage.
Nice play by the Hillers.
Outstanding throw by senior Lenny Onken. Westwood trying to be aggressive. Less than one out. Probably not advisable. But there's a key. Right there. There's a key play. Hillers finally at 2 outs with a runner on first for left fielder Tommy Teixeira. He's a junior, number 9. Let's see if we can start fresh, reset things. Good job right there by Charlie getting ahead.
Well, good news is, Coach, the scoreboard's totally blank now and all lights are off.
Ah, perfect. No balls, 1 strike on Tommy Teixeira. He's the 8th hitter in the lineup. Charlie checks over the first. Imagine you might. Breaking pitch over for a strike. Charlie seems to have found his groove a little bit here. Kicks and delivers. Ground ball to shortstop. Picked up by Frank Capetisano. He'll take it himself and get the force out at second. So after a difficult start, a great defensive play by Lenny Onken, and a ground out to Frank Capetisano. So the Hillers get out of the first inning and trail 4-0. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. Okay, so welcome back to the bottom of the first inning. We flubbed our way through that top of the first, but we're hoping, knock on wood, that they are starting to score the game, so we're not forced to make things up as we go. Right now, it seems the scoreboard is on. It's 4-0. And Joe Carrazza steps to the plate to start things off for the Hillers. First pitch is a strike to Carrazza.
Or as he prefers, Joseph Jean Carrazza.
He does like that.
Yeah,
he does like that formality. Elliott Harris on the mound. Hard thrower, dribbler off the right side. Harris hops off the mound, throws a strike to first. Gets the very speedy Joe Carrazza. Good start for Elliott Harris. And there's one away for the Hillers. Now batting for the Hillers is number 2 junior, Charlie Petruni.
Another speedy hitter for the Hillers.
Yeah, Charlie's really getting going at the right time for the Hillers. He's a spark. Those two kids with their quickness at the top of the lineup. Swings through a fastball. Charlie is the EH tonight. Normally playing center fielder, but as I said, it's a heavy senior-laden starting lineup. Count runs to 1-1. He takes a curveball high. Charlie, at first glance, not having an incredible year statistically at 276 as he swings through a fastball 1-2. But if you look a little bit more closely, he's got a 426 on-base percentage due largely to 13 hit by pitches.
Wow.
So he gets jammed up a little bit. Ball up the middle to Hurley. Moving to his left. And he throws the speedy Charlie Petruni out. You can see why he'll be playing college baseball next year. Very athletic shortstop. So that's 2 up and 2 down for the Hillers. Nobody on for Connor Hallenbach, who's playing center field tonight. First pitch to Connor is taken high for a ball. Harris goes back to a breaking pitch, and Connor runs ahead of the count. 2-0. Connor's hitting .373 and leads, 373. Has been an incredible leader defensively for the last couple of years. Look back there, I think the count has now run to 3-0. Pitch by Harris. He's taken all the way. Goes a strike. Count is 3-1. Connor will be attending Tulane University next year. Oh, he hits it down to third base. It hits the bag. I'm going to have to go with a base hit there. That ball came up off the third base bag, hitting the third baseman in the chest. Beaten out by Connor Hallenbach, and the Hillers got a little something going here for Charlie Simulus.
Judges have given him a hit, Coach.
They have given him that. I think
him
we're
a
the
hit.
judges.
That's correct.
So Charlie looking to bang a gap here and pull the Hillers a little bit closer. Takes ball 1 high. Charlie Simulus hitting a very whopping .367 and leads the team in RBIs with 13. So not only has he been the solid ace of the pitching staff, he's led them offensively, hitting today out of the 4-hole. Delivery there is high, fouled off to the right side, and out of play. Good run there by first baseman Sean Garvin. Count 1-1 on Charlie Simulus. Checks the runner. working really hard to keep Connor Hallen back close at first. I think the biggest thing to slow down the running game is that 4-0 lead. The delivery by Harris, a little high and tight on Charlie. Count runs to 2-1. Good delivery. Another fastball inside. And it's 3-1. So good opportunity. You don't need to get 4 back here, but really nice to put 1 across, settle back in, put Charlie in a good mindset. Runners off. Charlie swings long down the right, left field line. Good, solid running catch by the left fielder. And I don't know who the left fielder is, but I believe we can figure that out for you. Number 9, left fielder is Tommy Teixeira. So the junior left fielder makes a nice running catch heading into the bullpen. That could have been trouble if that thing gets down the line. That would have scored a run. Really important for the Hillers to go out now and settle in, put up a 0. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Okay, we are back for the top of the second inning. And, Coach, a really festive night here. We got the softball game, which is a really, really important game. The Hillers needing to win their last 2 to make the state tournament. They're playing across the way. We had nice ceremonies before the game, a dual national anthem, and beautiful weather.
It is here in Hopkinton, Coach. I just got an updated weather report in Westwood. It's about 28 degrees and expecting 2 to 4 inches of snow tonight.
Always a little inclement in Westwood.
Of course, I'm joking around with you, Coach, but you know that many times we've gone to Westwood for games, you especially, that I don't know why, but it always seems to drop 30 degrees as soon as you go across that town line in Hopkinton. Into Westwood, but it's almost like you're going to Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Kind of strange. It's on Route 109, but the weather patterns seem really different in Westwood.
We've been joking about that for years
for
and
years.
years. So, Charlie back on the mound. Hope for a better inning, but he starts off 2-0 to the number 9 hitter for Westwood, number 17, Emilio Velasquez. He's the center fielder, a senior, and Charlie hits him in the buttocks. So the leadoff hitter is on again for Westwood.
And exactly one of the things that Coach Anderson told us before the game, Coach, and his keys to the game was, you remember last time against the Panthers, there were 7 hit-by pitches by Hiller pitchers, and Coach Anderson told us that that was something that they must stop tonight. No walks, no hit-by pitches, and win the error battle, and here we go with a hit-by pitch.
Yeah, we joked that we were part of history with the 7 hit-by pitches. Not a history we wanted to make.
No.
Line drive ripped to left field right at Lenny Onken and makes the play. So another well-hit ball by the top of the order by John Bertoni. He's a good-looking freshman catcher. He's a big, strong kid. Hit that ball hard. I can see why he's at the top of the lineup. But a big out for the Hillers. 1 out, runner on first. And big senior first baseman, number 11, Sean Garvin, is at the plate for Westwood. Delivery. Wow, breaking pitch down. A good pitch, but drilled in the left field into the 4-hole. right field through the 4-hole. Retrieved quickly by Jack Interante, and Westwood's got it going again. First and second, 1 out for their most talented player, shortstop Kevin Hurley. And he's lived up to the billing so far offensively and defensively tonight. Hiller bullpen is heating quickly with Matt Gaughan still throwing.
Coach, would you expect the Wolverines to put pressure on the pitcher by maybe upping the running game here, or would they play a little more conservative in your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think with the lead, you want to really, really force it. Quick move. Nice play. I think Coach Anderson had the same thought as you, Coach, that they may start moving runners and implemented a pickoff play. Aggressive lead at second. Another line drive hit sharply to right field. It's bobbled out there and gets by right fielder Jack Interante. 1 run will score. Garvin will head around from first to third. And Westwood is, as I said, back in business. First and third, 1 out, now leading 5-0.
And junior Matt Gaughan is warming up again, coach in the bullpen.
Yep. I think he's about heated up and ready to go. I know Coach would like to get a little bit more out of Charlie. He's been their horse all year, and he'll settle in. Just got to keep contact. 5-0 against a very good team. It's first and third. I think you'll see some action within this at-bat. First pitch is a strike. Right fielder Danny Sullivan up for Westwood. Kick and delivery. Another breaking pitch, taken first strike. So 0-2. Big moment right here. Strikeout would be very valuable to the Hillers. Popped up to the right side. Derek Hatherley gives it a run, but watches it float onto the loop road. The count remains 0-2 on Danny Sullivan. Runner goes, pitch is high, pump fake by Peter Carboni, and it's second and third. Reason I'm saying is you really you don't normally want to pitch to the strikeout, but right here any contact will probably generate another run, and at this point we need. Did I say Peter Carboni? Ground ball to the shortstop, picked up by Frank Pedisano. He throws to first. That'll bring in another run for Westwood. But again, infield back there trying to limit damage, trusting that the offense will come back, and it's now 6-0 with 2 outs. So my apologies both to the Carbone and Mahone families for miss. I only coached him for 2 years, and why would I get his name correctly?
And you probably ate at Carboni's many times.
Many times. It is the dinner hour, and I haven't eaten. So
that's true.
So Elliot Harris, the starting pitcher, is up. Another opportunity to support himself and pad the lead. It's 6-0 right now for Westwood. Run around third, 2 outs. Defense back. Pitch by Charlie is low. Coach Anderson said earlier, we were talking to him, that they're very, very patient. They take a lot of pitches. Well, the combination of not throwing strikes with a team that takes a lot of pitches is a recipe for disaster, and that's what we've seen so far. This hasn't been the Charlie Simulus we're used to. He has 6 walks on the entire year in 27 innings. That one's low, and the count runs to 3-1. He has been offensive and defensive leader, as I said, all year for the Hillers. Just not as sharp as usual tonight. The delivery hit deeply to right field. Jack Interante is under it, makes the play for the 3rd out. And that's 2 more runs for Westwood. At the end of an inning and a half, it is Westwood 6 and Hopkinton 0. We'll be back in a few. Okay, so we're back for the bottom of the second inning, and Coach, you mentioned the keys to winning for Hopkinton earlier, and that was getting ahead in counts and winning the hit by pitch walk and error battle, and that certainly hasn't come to pass so far.
Yeah.
But as Lenny Yonkin steps to the plate, we also talked to Westwood coach Brian Wayland, and we'll get you right after this pitch. Fouled deeply off to the left side. That'll be out of play. And what did Brian Wayland say with the key?
Coach Whalen had mentioned that the Wolverines could not give away outs on defense, which they have not done. They've given up none. And he also said that the Wolverines must get those back-breaking 2-out RBI hits. And they've certainly gotten a lot of key hits tonight, and most of them weren't with 2 outs. So good job by the Wolverines following their keys to the game so far.
Yeah, he stressed that to me. They are back-breaking, right? When you're on the verge of getting out of an inning and push another one across, that's the things that separate winning and losing. So delivery there by Harris, and the count runs now to 2-1. A senior left fielder, Lenny Yonkin, has made 2 really good plays already early in this game to keep this game as close as it is. Delivery by Harris. Fastball driven through the left side.
There's a base hit for the Hillers.
Great swing by Lenny Yonkin. Went with the pitch through the 5-hole. And there it is, your leadoff hitter jump starting, and Derek Hatherley now. Probably not an opportune time to play small ball with 6-0. So at the end of your bottom of the order, runner on first, typically you might see some action here, but unlikely trailing 6 runs. Derek Hatherley fouls the first pitch, a fastball back to the backstop, and it's 0-1. Again, probably station-to-station baseball. The lead does so much to slow the running game down and change your aggressiveness. Ball low in the dirt, or in the carpet, whatever we call it now. 1-1 to Derek Hatherley. Yeah, you don't want to become too station to station, right? Still a lot of game to play. You still want to put pressure on the defense. It becomes real easy to play when you know the other team's not going to bunt, not going to run. You know, so it's always that fine line that a coach has to decide on. Swing and a miss in the last pitch by Hatherley, and the count runs to 1-2. Harris delivers fastball close, taken just a bit outside. So Coach Whalen's eyes cast to the ground there. He thought he had a punch out. He has a lot of respect for the Hillers. I'll tell you one person that's not comfortable leading 6-0, it's Brian Whalen. Punched up the middle. Unfortunately, Hurley, he is taken right over the bag, and it is a 6 unassisted, 3 double play. So wipes out that leadoff runner. And now we go to Frank Opedisano hitting 9th tonight, playing shortstop. And there's 2 out and nobody on for the Hillers. So a promising inning turned a little bit sour quickly on a fairly hard hit ball by Derek Hatherley, but perfectly defensed by Hurley and the Wolverines. Curveball is low, 1-1 on Frank Opedisano. Every at-bat important, trying to get Harris's pitch count up. He's one of their better guys late in the year. Not a lot of arms likely available. Fastball at the knees. 1-2 on Frank Opedisano. And I apologize, this is the 8th hitter for Hopkinton. Fastball again, tipped off the top of the bat, squibs down the first base line. Harris smartly races over and touches it before it can spin back in. That's a Major League Baseball. That's thrown out immediately for the potential scuffing. High school, they throw it in the dugout, and it returns about 2 hitters later with a slice. 1-2 from Harris. Line drive laced in the right field by Frank.
There's a nice hit by Frankie.
A great swing by a senior on senior day. And he passes the torch. And I am way off because we don't have these these lineups electronically charged, because Jack Interante is up, and he is not the 9th hitter. He's the 8th hitter. Should be about that. Takes high. 3 hard hit balls. That's the game of baseball. 3 hard hit balls this inning. And it's still only a runner on first and 2 outs. Can't determine where you hit it. So the count runs to 2-0 on Jack Interante. The at-bats have been pretty good. Just a matter of stringing them together. Small lead by Frank. The delivery, another hard hit ball up the middle. Hits the umpire. Kicks into left field. Frank's going first and third. Smart base running.
Hiller's got a break there, Coach.
So they are returning the runner to second base because the ball went off of the umpire. Would have been an easy play, likely for Hurley coming across the bag with the force out, but the ball caromed into left field. Frank ran first to third, and even though I've been around the game for about 50 years, I would have argued that. I don't know why I thought the ball would still be in play and Frank would have been allowed to go to third.
I would agree with you, Coach. I was going to ask you would that would be an umpire's discretion. I've never seen that either.
Yeah.
And it was a smart heads-up play by Frank, as you said, to go to third base.
I don't really I've always been kind of criticized for not really knowing the rules of the game that I coach. I used to go out and quietly talk to the umpire and say, why am I wrong being out here? And they would explain it to me.
I remember that. Very quiet.
You got to be quiet when you don't have the knowledge to back it up.
Right.
So it's 2-0 on Ray Robichaud. Now he is the number 9 hitter. Left-handed hitting senior. Good swing, fouled straight back. It's 2-1. First and second, nobody out, and really 4 hard-hit baseballs and still nothing to show for it. But if Ray here can turn it over to the top of the order, can do a lot of 2-out damage. A little what Coach Whalen was talking about. Fouled off by Ray Robichaud, right? Because Coach Whalen said they need the 2 big, he called them the back-breaking 2-out RBI. Well, here's a chance for Ray to break Elliott Harris's back with a 2-out RBI. 2-2. Breaking pitch freezes Ray. And that's strike 3. So after 4 really, really good at-bats and a promising start to the inning, we remain at the end of 2 innings of play. Westwood 6 and Hopkinton nothing. We'll be back in a minute. So welcome back to the top of the 3rd inning. 6-0 Westwood. And leading off for the Wolverines is their designated hitter, number 13, Patrick Casavant. The delivery by Charlie Simulus. Weakly hit to Franco Pedisano. Scoops, throws over the first. And a one pitch, one out. Great start for the Hillers to this top of the third. And that brings up second baseman senior Will LaRose.
That was nice pronunciation, Coach.
Yeah?
Very good, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Charlie delivers. So, no balls and one strike, exactly, 6 runs. You could tell when someone's your ace that he's still in the baseball game. Complete trust of Coach Anderson, that he'll settle in, and he seems to settle in, still throwing hard. 2 strikes to start the inning. The delivery, another strike, lofted weakly to center field. Connor Hallenbeck settles under it. And that's 3 pitches and 2 outs for the Hillers, exactly what Charlie would need. He could finish this off as he faces Tommy Teixeira, junior left fielder. No reason to nibble here. You want to go right at him, try to have a quick 4 or 5 pitch inning. He delivers again at the knees for a strike. He's got a little bit of competitive look to him right now.
He does.
Charlie. Again, he fires again at the knees, and it's 0-2. Big pitch right here. You have Joe Carrazza imploring Charlie to win it right here. Fastball high, fouled off well by Teixeira. Count remains 0-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Top of the third. Ooh, I think Charlie took a. He's not a demonstrative person, would never show up the umpire, but he took one step to the dugout because that certainly looked to all of us like strike 3. But there's strike 3, a break and pitch. And a great inning. Single-digit inning for Charlie Simulus, walking off the mound with a purpose. And at the end of 2.5 innings of play, it remains 6-0. I think we'll stay right here for a few. Coach, you mentioned in our last telecast that you played at Bellingham High School.
I did.
Do you remember anything about your senior year, your senior day, or?
We didn't have a senior day back then. I think it was just clean out your lockers and goodbye.
Wasn't that?
In a nice way. Yeah. No.
Take your time, goodbye.
Yeah, take your time, goodbye.
Wasn't as touchy-feely.
No.
No.
Nobody really did that back then, at least not that I remember. But we had a nice group of guys, and we were all sad to depart each other's company. And of course, we loved our coach, Coach Jimmy Bonolo, but we did not have any formal senior night as they do now. Did you have one of those in New Haven back when your day, Coach, played?
No, there was no senior night. I remember my last game.
Nobody gave Coach Marcucci flowers or anything like that. I can't imagine that would have gone over well.
No, he wasn't a flowery type.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting story that I'll tell later on about if you remind me about our last game and how that all came to pass. But right now it's Hiller senior night, and senior Joe Carrazza leads off top of the order.
Nice to see
Nothing's
if Joey
going.
could get something going
Yeah,
here, Coach.
exactly. Nothing's going well, but I'll tell you, you put up 1 or 2 here. There's a lot of game left. Harris is a junior, but he looks. I see why Coach Whalen said he's one of their key mound presence guys. Hit well, pulled, foul, deep over the bullpen. Another good run by Tommy Teixeira, but it's out of play. And the count's 1-1 on Joey Carrazza.
Now, Coach, when it was foul balls like that last year, didn't you make, when they were way out in the woods, didn't you make Coach Zach get them, or was that?
I liked watching Coach Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ground ball back to the box, tips away with Joey's speed. I don't think you're going to get him.
No. flew down the line that time, Coach.
That's always a tough situation for a pitcher. You want to be athletic, you want to field your position, but the better decision there is to let that go through to your shortstop, particularly when you have a Kevin Hurley at short. But with Joey's speed, I don't think they would have made that.
Anyhow, huh,
Yeah.
Coach? Yeah.
So the leadoff hitter is on for the Hillers. Charlie Petruni to bat, and let's see if we could generate something here. Fastball driven hard through the hole.
There we go.
Station to station. Joey will stop at second base. Gives kudos to his teammate Charlie Petruni, and could not have a better start. Connor Hallenbeck, 3-hitter, is coming up with nobody out. Don't need to hit a 3-run homer here. Just keep moving pieces. Getting Elliott Harris out of the stretch, always a key. A lot of pitchers aren't as comfortable with runners on base. Connor steps out. Game is a lot harder with moving pieces on the bases. Curveball, they check, and he says that Connor Hallenbeck did not go. So it's 1-0. Coach Whalen disagrees. The delivery. So fouled off by Connor Hallenbeck. Count runs to 1-1. One of the things you'll notice is you look at Coach Anderson and Coach Whalen, you'd never be able to tell by their body language who's winning and who's losing. They both look equally invested and equally confident in the other team's ability to put up runs. Count is now 1-2 on Connor Hallenbeck. Noticed him widen his stance there, got a little lower, choked up a little bit on the bat. He's going to be somebody difficult to strike out. He wants to put the ball in play here. Remains at 1-2. Trying to drive Elliott Harris's pitch count up, move these runners along. Perfect guy to have up in this situation. Connor hitting .373, as we said, on the year. The delivery. Fastball driven again. Through the hole. He's going to. Coach Anderson waved and tricked me there. He waved Joey Carrazza around third, but then made the enlightened decision that there were nobody out with the middle of the order coming up, and he held Joey there. It's bases loaded, nobody out for cleanup hitter Charlie Simulus. Good opportunity for Charlie to add to his team-leading 13 RBI here. And some anxious times now for the Westwood defense. Let's see if the Hillers can come through. Elliott staying out of the stretch, checks the runner, delivers high. Ball one, 1-0 to Charlie. Breaking pitch, which might right now, I'm gonna guess that might have bought him a fastball. He's looking to turn this fastball around. He's got to be all in on this. There's your fastball, and he turns it around. Up the middle, it's knocked down by the second baseman.
Hillers are on the board.
Yeah. So pretty good play by the second baseman to knock that ball down, but 1 run scores. The importance of sitting all in on that fastball. We talk a lot about the fact that every pitch gives you information.
You called that pitch, Coach, that's for sure.
So Charlie sees a first pitch breaking pitch, and very rarely in high school baseball do pitchers double up off-speed pitches for balls with another one. They should, but they don't. It's one of our rules. Ball away, taken by Lenny Onken. That was a fastball. Lenny again is going to be all in. Hit very easy to hit with bases loaded, nobody out. Elliott Harris has to challenge. Fastball turned on, dribbled down the first base line. I don't know the call. Delayed call. I'm not sure what he's doing. And he called it fair. So 3 unassisted. And there's a little bit of controversy. Coach Anderson called out to visit with the base umpire. I'm not exactly sure what they're talking about, but they seem pretty friendly. Anyway, that's an RBI ground out for Lenny Onken. Score is now 6-2. Derek Hatherley up with runners on second and third. The delivery hit hard in front of the second base runner. Hurley up and throws, but that's another runner. Can't win baseball games unless you get guys home from third with less than 2 outs, and the Hillers have brought 3 of those runs home. And just like that, they've cut the Westwood lead in half. It's now 6-3 with 2 outs for Frankie Apetesano. It's still a runner in scoring position. The runner at second is a courtesy runner for Charlie Simulus. That's Nick Pedroli. He's a sophomore. He's had a great year. Plays most games, probably a victim of senior night tonight. And I guess he called that a strike on Frankie. So it's 0-2. Now another opportunity to get on the dish and battle. Dribbler, anything to keep the line moving here. Nick has a lot of speed. With 2 outs, any hit will bring him in. There's a ground ball to the left side. A dive to save a run by Hurley. Can't make the play, but that's the equivalent of an RBI. That ball trickles through, and you're looking at a 6-4 ball game. So a great job so far by the Hillers this inning. They have runners on first and third. Frankie Apetesano at first, Nick Pedroli at third. Good speed at both bases. Now it's interesting to see whether or not Coach Anderson will
send the runner, coach?
Yeah, activate, do something, leave early. You have your number 8 hitter, Jack Interrante, at the plate. So first and third is always an opportunity to score in high school baseball. Rule of thumb we would like to use is get to 2 strikes where the hitter might be in a little bit of trouble and help him out by moving a runner. The delivery, runner's not going, ball's low, taken by Jack Interrante, and the count's 1-1. Coach Casey flashes the signals on this team from the first base coaching box. Apetesano not running. Ball down, but called a strike. 1-2. There's a coaching decision. Do you activate those runners, or do you leave it in the hands of the hitter? And he's off. Ball's down. Uncontested at second base, and now it's second and third. 2-2. Great spot for senior right fielder Jack Interrante. With 2 outs, he could pull the Hillers within 1 run with any sort of hit. The delivery by Harris. Breaking pitch freezes Jack. And that's the end of the third inning. But not until the Hillers put up 3 and cut the Wolverine lead in half. Score at the end of 3 innings. Westwood 6 and Hopkinton 3. So we're back for the Westwood top of the fourth. As the home team, the Hillers are in white uniforms, white tops, white bottoms, high green stirrups, green numbers, a small orange number underneath the script Hopkinton across the chest, green hats with orange brims.
Now, Coach, when we get a chance, maybe you could explain to the listeners and viewers at home where that orange came from for the Hillers, because you and I know, and many longtime people here in Hopkinton know, that the Hiller colors were always green and white. About 30 years ago, that changed, and you know the story behind that.
That's true. Swing and a miss by number 17, Emilio Velasquez, center fielder, senior. So Westwood is in green tops and white bottoms. They have green numbers outlined in black, and on the front, a white number outlined in black. All green hats with a green, black, and white W on the brim. And I bring up the black and the orange because, as you said, they each of the schools have added that accent color. Us about, like you said, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Much to the chagrin of old people like us. Fastball there. So another good start for Charlie Simulus. Gets the leadoff hitter. And now batting for Westwood is number 4, the leadoff hitter, the catcher, freshman John Bertone. So I'll tell the orange story after this pitch. Curveball popped straight back by Bertone. It's really a legendary Dave Hughes story where I was coaching football for him. It was 1993, I believe.
Right around there, yeah.
2 or 3.
Sounds about right.
And we got an offer. Swing and a miss. Tipped, held on to by Peter Mahone. Hillers snapped the ball around the infield, and 2 up, 2 down. Things have really turned here. Anyway, a gentleman whose name I can't recall offered free uniforms for the Hiller football team if they would agree to add a touch of a third color. So Coach Hughes, who is a traditionalist, did not want a third color, but he is, let's say, as frugal as he is traditional. So loved the offer of free and agreed to have a small accent of orange. Made us look a lot like the Miami Hurricanes, who were very popular back then. That ball is ripped down the left field line, just foul by Sean Garvin, the Wolverine first baseman. The count runs to 1-2. This could be another really, really quick inning for Charlie Simulus. So that's how the story went. They got the free uniforms, and I thought I might capitalize on free uniforms. So I called up the gentleman and asked if he would add the orange. We would advertise for him if we got the same sort of deal. Weak line drive to Frank. Scoops it up and throws low. Ball gets by Derek Hatherley, so it's going to go in the books as an E6. And there is a runner on first with 2 outs for Westwood. So I don't know if you're familiar with the style of the Dodgers uniform, which I always really liked. So we added an orange below the script Hopkinton on the left rib cage, and that was enough.
Very classy looking uniform.
It's classy uniform, and you see it's 30 years later. It's the same style of uniform. We've added the high stirrups, but the kids love the orange, and we know that. They really, really love the orange, and we've been battling it ever since to not become the dominant color.
Well, it used to be kind of, I'm not a big fan of the orange either. It used to be kind of hard when you would watch 30 years ago a Westwood Hopkinton basketball game or football game or baseball game, because it was green and white versus green and white, and awful hard to tell the players apart.
Right, and you brought that. So when I finished that story, when we added the orange, they a few years later added the black accent to their uniform. So I think they both look sharp. And as I said, the kids love it. The count right now is 2 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss runs it to 2-2 on senior shortstop Kevin Hurley. It's an action count here. I'm not sure the speed of the runner, but it's a good opportunity to send him. Pitch, swung and a miss. Swing and a miss by Kevin Hurley. Oh, another great inning for Charlie Simulus. So this game is turned.
Yes, it has.
It's a 3-run game. Coach Anderson's showing trust in Charlie Simulus. Other coaches might have had him out of there early. He settled in, and now he's pitching spectacularly well. So we'll be back in a minute, and maybe we can finish some uniform history for you. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, very new ball game here, as the lights come on at Hopkinton High School. Ray Robichaud in the 9-hole leading off, and he bunts beautifully down the left field line. Miscommunication between pitcher and catcher, and a great start. Senior Ray Robichaud getting it going to the top of the order. And as I said, the energy on the Hiller side of the field is quite high right now, and you don't see that same sort of energy on the Wolverine side, which gives credence to Coach Whalen's concerns earlier on, even though he had a 6-run lead. Joe Carrazza now, it's been a spark all year, takes curveball low and away. Joey only hitting .244, but everybody would tell you he's the catalyst. And if he can get on base, he leads the team with 14 stolen bases. Fastball high. Joey chases, fouls it back. 1-1. You don't like the fact that he went out of the strike zone for that, but you do like the fact that he's ready to hit and aggressive. Knew he was getting a fastball following that first pitch curve. So 1-1, Joey Carrazza. Ray Robichaud. Significant lead off first base. Harris set and delivers. Fastball pulled into the Hiller dugout by Carrazza. Time to battle for Joey. 1-2. Joey widening out all over the plate. Uncomfortable for a pitcher to see somebody draped over the plate. Breaking ball low and away. I have a good feeling about this at-bat, Coach. I know he's down, went down 1-2, but I'm just looking at body language, and he looks intent. He's widening out. This ball's going in play.
I hope you're right here, Coach. Be nice to see for Joey.
Harris comes set. And there it is. Takes it off the back. Unnerving to have you draped all over the plate. Joey very excited. Slapping hands with Coach Casey. First and second, nobody out. This is a little deja vu all over again, as Yogi would say, with Charlie Petruni coming to the plate. Speed all around, including at the plate. Nobody out, first and second. Fastball, again bunted back to the pitcher. He picks up. Not exactly what Charlie wanted, but it effective. Effective in the fact that it moves both runners. He was bunting for a base hit. A little bit back to the pitcher. The rule there is perfect or foul. You don't want to give up. They weren't trying to sacrifice there, but it serves the purpose. You got 2 runners in scoring position now for Connor Hallenbach, 373 hitter. And again, I see a real focused look here. Connor can bring the Hillers within 1 with a swing of the bat. Breaking pitch. I think that's been the key the last 2 innings. They're not chasing that 0-0 breaking pitch by Harris and forcing him up in the strike zone. With Charlie on deck, I'm going to throw all chips in on a fastball here. There it is. Fastball jumped on, hit high in the triangle behind the shortstop. Communication, but Hurley makes the play. Coaches would implore your left fielder to take that ball, but when you have a shortstop like Hurley, he's their leader. He calls off the left fielder. Before the game, Coach Whalen said that Hurley is their quiet leader. Not a big speaker, but leads through his actions. Laced in the right center field. That's a base hit for Charlie Simulus. He drives home Joey Carrazza, Ray Robichaud, and the Hillers are now within 1 at 6-5. You're going to get that same courtesy runner, Nick Pedroli, for Charlie Simulus. He'll be greeted by his teammates. What an outstanding performance tonight by Charlie Simulus. Could not have started worse for him on the mound. But since then has been a leader at the plate and has been lights out over the last couple of innings. I think you're going to see at some point in this at-bat, I'd be surprised if you don't see Nick Pedroli running. He's now the tying run. It's only the 4th inning, but he's the tying run. Good speed, athletic, young left-handed hitter. Senior left-handed hitter Lenny Onken at the plate, who's looked outstanding at the plate and in the field tonight. I think Harris expects some action here. Creeping off, he checks again, dives back. You know, part of you wants to run here, part of you wants to leave that hole open, but he's off to the races. Swing and a miss, the throw down, no chance. Great job there by Nick Pedroli. And the tying run, I didn't think we'd be saying this quickly, but the tying run at second base. 0-2 to Lenny Onken. Nick Pedroli with a sizable lead off second, gets a good secondary. Lenny's seeing it well, takes that pitch off the plate. Count runs to 1-2. Now you're starting to see some potential changes in the Hiller lineup as Mitch Simulus is on deck for the Hillers. And I say that for a reason. Mitch has an on-base percentage of .531, hitting .333. Didn't get the start tonight on senior night, but nice to have your leading hitter coming off the bench. Dribble to the second baseman. He goes hard, flips. Good hustle by Lenny Onken. Dives into first base. He's called out. But at the end of 4 innings of play, a very new ball game here in Hopkinton, as Westwood leads 6-5 now. Charlie Simulus is out of the game on the mound after keeping his team in contact and doing an unbelievable job. Charlie moves to first, and on the mound for the Hillers is junior left-hander Matt Gaughan. When we get back, we'll give you Matt Gaughan's numbers and reset any defensive changes. See you in a minute. So we're back for the top of the 5th inning, and the only changes, our starting pitcher Charlie Simulus has moved to first base, and on the mound for the Hillers, junior left-hander number 9, Matt Gaughan. Matt Gaughan has 9 innings pitched, all in relief for the Hillers, all big innings. He has struck out 7, walked only 3, and is pitching to a .77 ERA. So Coach Anderson is turning the game over to a very capable bullpen. Active already. We need to get 3 quality innings, and we also have Sean McCann, junior right-hander, who's been a primary reliever for the Hillers. He's already in the bullpen, so it's a different ball game now. And leading off is cleanup hitter for Westwood, Danny Sullivan, the right fielder.
You were right earlier in the game, Coach. You had mentioned innings ago that Coach Whalen of Westwood would be one of the last coaches that would be happy with a 6-0 lead over the Hillers, and that apprehension was well-founded.
Line drive, hits sharply to shortstop, played on a big hop by Frankie Apatesano, fires across the diamond, retires Sullivan, and 2 pitches in, Matt Gaughan is starting off exactly the way Coach Anderson had hoped. Get ahead in the count. Nobody on, 1 out. Facing Westwood pitcher Elliot Harris. Fastball is up. Matt is the type of pitcher we always hated to face. He's a lefty, doesn't throw particularly hard, always around the plate. Great composure. Slings it. Weak pop up into the triangle. Frankie back. Miscommunication there. Both started. So difficult situation there for the Hillers. Ball was hit up the middle. What we used to call a Baltimore fly. What do we call it? An old Texas leaguer?
Texas leaguer.
A Texas leaguer over the second base bag. Connor Hallenbach, Joey Carrazza, Frankie Apatesano all moving and stopping at once. Wisely, Elliot Harris, seeing second base left vacant, takes second base, and we have a runner in scoring position now for number 13, Patrick Cassavant, Westwood's DH. You saw Matt Gaughan there kind of slap his thigh in anger, and was anger at himself because he kind of became a spectator and didn't cover second base. One of the primary rules of defense is there's never a time to stand around. There's always somewhere to go, somewhere productive. We used to use the term fly to the bag, fly to the ball. Fly to the ball, fly to the bag. So if you can't get the ball, find a bag or find a backup to fill in. And Matt saw the reasoning there. Not only his responsibility, the corner infielders could have also helped. So the delivery there is high, and the count runs to 1-1 on Patrick Cassavant with 1 out. Lefty-lefty matchup, so a big spot here for Matt Gaughan, who's done the job. He created a weak fly ball. Inside move, he checks the runner at second. Steers in at the sign. Good aggressive running by Elliot Harris. The delivery is again high. One of the drawbacks of the lefty on the mound is they are a little easier to steal third base off of. Typically slower to the plate, have their back to third. So Frankie's doing a good job of holding the runner.
Nice pitch by Matt.
Yeah, nice pitch. Counts 2-1 on Cassavant. And the runner's off. As I said, deep fly ball hit by Cassavant. Runner retreating to second base. Interante camps under it. Too late for Elliot Harris to tag. And there's a big out for the Hillers as Harris remains at second base. You saw there that he was going. He would have had that base stolen standing up. Again, you're not going to change your routine here. Matt Gaughan is not quick to the plate. Doesn't need to normally be as a left-hander. Harris fakes going again, and the ball's high. So I don't think if the current batter, Will LaRose, gets in any kind of trouble, I think you'll see action again from Harris. I think he knows he could take that base. Matt checks 2 or 3 times the delivery. So the way to slow it down is to vary your looks, check second base multiple times. Show him that inside move once in a while to know that you're aware. Count is now 2-0. His primary responsibility is at the plate with LaRose. So you can't lose your focus because of Harris at second base, but just the fact that he made that attempt earlier puts it in the back of your head that he could be action. So it's 3-0. LaRose waving the bat, no intention of swinging the bat here. Matt, knowing that, drills a fastball down the middle. I don't like the exaggerated action and waggle of the bat when you're going to be taking. It just takes you out of your normal routine. But it does look like LaRose has that kind of rhythm. Fastball high, throws it by LaRose. So a little sneaky velocity there. Count runs full. I'm going to make a guess you're going to see the runner move right now. Matt delivers and the runner is off. Swing and a miss.
Pitch by Matt. Way to come back.
What a great job.
Nice job by Matty Gaughan.
Gives up a very, very soft Texas leaguer. Takes ownership for not covering second and comes right back and gets out of the inning with a fly ball and a strikeout. So at the end of, what do we have, 4.5 innings of play, the score Westwood 6 and Hopkinton 5. We'll be back in a minute. So we're back for the bottom of the 5th. And between innings, we were visited by a couple of former Hopkinton Hillers. Great tradition that started. We have a lot of players that we're really proud of that are playing in college right now. We just had 2. We had Andrew Gaughan, who's the brother of Matt Gaughan, and he's a freshman pitcher at RPI. Had a really good freshman year. And the same for Dylan Locke, who joined him, who was our starting catcher. They were 2 of our captains last year, led us to the state quarterfinals, played in state championship games as juniors. And Dylan is a freshman catcher, just completed his freshman season at Bowdoin College. And he's really happy that those exams are over, as is Andrew. 2 very difficult academic schools and 2 very highly acclaimed students. And we'll talk. We have a lot of other players playing in college right now, which is really a tribute to the parents and the community and the feeder system here in Hopkinton. So as we move through this inning with Mitch Simulus leading off, it's his first at-bat of the night. We mentioned earlier hitting .333, is 11 walks on the year and an on-base percentage of .531. He's probably been their most productive hitter all across the board, and he takes ball 1. But as we said, it's senior night, and Coach Mulvey talked over the last couple of days with a few seniors that he has in class or has had in class, and asked them their thoughts on playing baseball at Hopkinton. And that is a bomb, a deep bomb to left fielder, well over the left fielder's head by Mitch Simulus. He's rounding second as left fielder tracks it down. Ball's into Hurley, The relay throw comes into the first baseman. Mitch, with no outs, is held by Coach Anderson at third. And the tying run is now 90 feet away as Frank Pedisano steps to the plate. So we've gone from 6-0 early on and things looking like they could get out of hand to any mere contact away from this being a tie ball game. Frank Pedisano, one of those seniors that Coach Mulvey's going to talk about, is at the plate. Mitch leads off third. The delivery, low and away. So Frank spoke to you about his thoughts.
Yeah, so we talked to the seniors about their memories of Hiller baseball and what they would most miss, and Frank had some really deep thoughts about the Hiller program. And I'll just wait for this pitch, Coach.
Fastball fouled back. Yep.
And Frank had said that one of his favorite memories, of course, about Hiller baseball was his ability to show up every day and make connections with his teammates, and he believes that a lot of these guys have turned into his best friends, and he wanted to thank his coaches and the teammates of turning him into not only a better baseball player but a better person.
Oh, that's great. And you sense when you talk to these kids, it's not a line. It's pretty authentic, very close. Count now is 0-2 on Frank Pedisano. He's just looking for contact. The Westwood defense is back. Good curveball by Harris. Frank flails, strike three. And the batter now, Jack Interante. Big spot for Jack. Had an opportunity earlier and struck out and fortunately gets another shot with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. Big moment for a senior on senior night. Curveball. Oh, I don't mean to chuckle, but it hit him off the head, and I know he's okay. We bought quality new helmets last year. So there's now runners at first and third for the Hillers. There's that change, winning the walk battle, winning the HBP battle. They're checking on Jack Interante, and he is clearly fine and happy to be standing on third.
And the Wolverines have started up their bullpen, Coach.
Yeah. Elliott's kept his composure as things have kind of gone south. We got Ray Robichaud, another senior, who's at the plate. I think he's another one you talked to earlier.
I did. So we'll let him take a pitch here, see what's going on. I'll share some of Ray's thoughts with the folks at home.
Ray was a catalyst earlier with a big key bunt early on. Coach has expressed a lot of trust in Ray. Hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but has performed every time. Remember here a few weeks ago in a big Norwood game, he came off the bench due to injury and drove in what I believe ended up being the winning run versus Norwood. Big spot here, first and third, 1 out, left-handed hitter. Short lead for Interante at first, fastball. Just outside.
So Coach Ray had shared with me many of the same sentiments that Frankie shared, but not only did he enjoy his coaches and his playing, Frank had said to me that he enjoyed the life lessons that he'd been taught during his time in Hiller baseball. And I know that's always been a big part of your coaching, to also stress to your players to be good people as well as players.
2-0 for Frank. I'm sorry, for Ray. Yeah, so it was really an honor to turn the program over to Coach Anderson, who played for me, because it kept a lot of the same mantras, and one of my most prominent ones that's adhered to by Coach. Ball low. Delayed steal. Oh. Delayed steal. Reacted to very, very well. It's a difficult play. Reacted to well by the freshman catcher. He throws down. Hurley scoops the ball and applies the tag. I'm not sure if they said that he had gotten his hand in or whether the tag was too low on the body, but nonetheless, Jack Interrante's head-first slide is called safe at second. So it sits right now second and third with 1 out. Brian Whalen disagrees and is out discussing it with the second base umpire. You see he's not demonstrative, being very respectful. He's one of the He's one of the good people in baseball. Brian Whalen and I coached against each other for a very long time. And classy. I feel for him because he has a sophomore starting third baseman son for Walpole High School, and I know the pains of coaching and not being able to see your sons play. But he departs the field and brings his infield in. Interesting situation now because the tying run is at third and the lead run is at second. So typically you might have your middle infield back, but he brings him in. Ray draws a walk, and the bases are loaded for Joe Carrazza. Anyway, I don't know if I finished that thought, but one of the mantras is free practice for life with baseball and playing, being free practice to make you a better husband, better father, better son, better student. If you're not taking advantage of that opportunity, you're wasting it. Athletics is an unbelievable classroom for that type of development. So the bases are loaded now for Joe Carrazza. Coach Whalen is back on the field talking to Elliot Harris. He's going to stay with he called him not his ace, but his 1A or 1B. He kind of has a three-headed monster that starts. Couldn't draw this up any better, right? You're
Could not, Coach.
top of your order with the bases loaded. Infield now. Corners are in. Middle infield back, playing for the double play, but Joe would be very difficult to double up. Fastball high. And again, we saw that eye of the tiger on Joey. I hate to make a prognosis, but I see real good things right here. He
Big spot for Joe.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to get beat right now. Fastball driven. Line drive at the second baseman. Good base running by Ray Robichaud and Jack Interrani to dive back in. Could have been a double play. Nothing you could do there. Joe hit the ball hard on the line. And he passes the torch now to Charlie Petruni. So Joe did his job, so did Westwood. Infield back all around. 2 outs, bases loaded. 6-5 game. Spot doesn't get any bigger than this. It can unlock it for the Hillers. And that's another line drive, again, directly at the second baseman. Not hit as hard, but couldn't have placed these defenders any better. And Westwood survives what could have been a gigantic inning for the Hillers. But nonetheless, at the end of 5, the score remains Westwood 6, Hopkinton 5. And we'll be back in a minute. So welcome back to the Hopkinton Turf. We're going to try to get a softball update. I don't have anything yet, but we're hoping to get some information on the Westwood-Holliston softball matchup. I look around the infield. I don't see any defensive changes, but we do have a new pitcher on the mound for the Hillers, and it is junior right-hander Sean McCann. I gave you the impressive statistics for Matt Gaughan coming out of the bullpen. Well, you'll be impressed by these as well. McCann has 11 innings, all in relief, 12 strikeouts in those 11 innings, only 2 walks, and a lofty ERA of 0.00. That's the Blutarski ERA from the old Animal House.
Ah, yes. That was his grade point average, though, right?
That was his grade point average.
Yeah.
So Sean completes his warm-ups. We talked earlier about a couple of Hopkinton alums stopping by, and you and I were talking between innings. We have another Hopkinton baseball alum who played for me. I don't actually remember the late 2000 aughts, who went to Johns Hopkins, an elite school, a mathematical mind, Dan Merzell. And last night I'm watching Justin Verlander pitch against Shane Bieber, two former Cy Youngs, and behind the plate is Hopkinton Hiller alum Dan Merzell.
Wow.
So we have a major leaguer, and statistically they say it's harder to become a major league umpire than it is a major league player. So Sean delivers his first pitch, and it's a strike. He is a strike thrower. Three-quarter delivery, that's what makes him so tough. He kind of drops down a little bit, slings it, and jumps ahead quickly 0-2 on Tommy Teixeira, the left fielder. And I think we have an update, and right now it looks like it's good news down at the Hiller softball diamond with Hopkinton in a must-win state tournament play-in game, leading 9-3. They had lost earlier in the year to Westwood, but right now it's looking good for the Hillers. Up 9-3. They win their remaining two games. They are state tournament participants. The pitch driven into the ground down the third base line, called fair, gets under the glove of Ray Robichaud. A good solid turn around first base by Teixeira, but Frank Apetesano backing up third base from shortstop, believe it or not, retrieved the ball and held Teixeira to a single. So a good start for the Wolverines with their leadoff hitter on, and senior center fielder Emilio Velasquez to the plate. Coach Whalen has to be happy here. If you get your 8-hitter on, if Velasquez could somehow push it over across, you may see some bunting action here, and he does. Butts down the first base line, foul. Sean McCann picks it up. I've been pretty good on the predictions tonight.
You're on the money tonight, Coach.
I've stolen the signals.
Not electronically, I hope.
No. I'd be banging on a drum. So Velasquez up. Let's see if he squares to bunt again. He does. And gets the bunt down to the right side. Picked up by Sean McCann. Fires a strike to Charlie Simulus. So Velasquez does the job and moves the runner. Runner in scoring position at second base with one out for the top of the order, freshman John Bertone. I've been really impressed with this freshman catcher. I think TVL is in for 3 more difficult years getting this kid out, and he's done a great job, behind the plate as well. So let's see if he can deliver. 7th run. Takes a fastball for Sean McCann. So again, Sean's in a little bit of trouble, but not of his own making. An E5 followed by a well-executed sac bunt. And that softly hit up the middle, but again, well placed. It freezes the runner. Hallenbach throws a strike.
Whoa.
To
Nice
third base.
play.
What an outstanding play by Connor Hallenbach. Ray Robichaud applies the tag, and instead of runners on the corners, it's now 2 outs with a runner on first base. And just as everything was going wrong at the first couple of innings, everything going right now, playing great baseball for the Hillers. Runner on first with 2 outs, with big first baseman Sean Garvin coming up. So the situation changes completely with Garvin at the plate now with 2 outs. The delivery by Sean. Tailing fastball just outside, 1-0. Again, a fastball away. I'll check to see who the action in the bullpen is for the Hillers, but I've been hit in the leg twice by deflected balls, so hopefully he'll get that going. The delivery, 2-0. Lace down here. Oh, almost got us again, Coach. Matty Gaughan is down here to protect, unsuccessfully.
That's when you miss the cat-like reflexes of Coach Zach in the third base box.
That's right. We might be calling a stretcher out right now. So the count is 2 balls, 1 strike on big left-handed hitter Sean Garvin. Whoever's in the pen seems to be throwing hard. I'm going to check
Hear
it
a
out.
lot of pop.
It is right-hander Drew Riesenberger Jr., who's also done a really good job for the Hillers this year. Good deep bullpen, a lot of pitching depth, which is going to bode well for the Hillers. Sean McCann steps off. Count is 3-1. Got the dangerous Hurley on deck, Kevin Hurley. So you want to challenge, but lets that get away. So things change quickly here. It's first and second, nobody out, with Kevin Hurley to the plate. Coach Anderson making a trip. Certainly talking to him about how to approach Kevin Hurley. I don't think Sean is in any danger of being taken out of this game. He's as trusted a bullpen arm as the Hillers have. So this is his inning to survive. And he's a strike thrower. So it's nice to have a kid with command. You don't have to give in and simply throw fastballs. You can have command of a couple of pitches. But you're facing you're facing a clear first-team all-leaguer, future Babson shortstop, Kevin Hurley. Defense is back. Here's where you want your, as they used to say, infielders to get dirty. They don't get dirty on this turf anymore. That fastball is thrown behind Kevin Hurley, gets to the backstop. Runners advance to second and third. Now you have an interesting decision here. If it's me, I'm pointing to first and putting Kevin Hurley on base, but it's not me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's 1-0. You have an open base. You certainly don't want to give in to this hitter. I just like at the high school level to create force plays, and you're going through your next 2 hitters or their 2 best hitters. To me, you put this one on, you only have to face one of them. So it's 2-0. He's going to challenge. And he throws a letter-high strike. 2 balls, 1 strike to Kevin Hurley. Big situation here for Sean McCann. Again, you don't want to give in. That's 2 big RBIs. The pitch, right down the middle. A lot of movement. You can tell from here.
Yeah.
A 3-quarter action. So it's now 2-2 on Kevin Hurley. Beaten into the ground, up the middle. Joey Carrazza comes hard, throws across his body, scooped out of off his ankle tops by, I don't know what an ankle top is, but scooped by Charlie Simulus. Gets out of the inning. Great play, great composure shown by Sean McCann, and a tremendously athletic play by Joey Carrazza and Charlie Simulus. At the end of 5.5 innings of play, the score remains Westwood 6 and Hopkinton 5. So we don't have a pitch count for you. We don't have our technology working tonight, as we said. But Elliot Harris is still in the game. He's 3-1 with a 2.71 ERA. He's been a workhorse, as you can see, for Westwood all year. He's still in the game, and the Hillers are definitely seeing the ball off him, hitting the ball hard into some tough luck. But I said at the end of the last inning that I would have walked Kevin Hurley, and instead they pitched to him, and he grounded out weakly to second base. So, gives us reason why we probably had a coaching change here at Hopkinton, because I would have walked him, and the next kid would have hit one in the gap, and we'd be down by 4 runs. And we'll talk about that in a minute. We talked to Coach Zach about the coaching change. We'll bring that to you in a minute. Connor Hallenbach leading off. Fastball drilled to the left side. Nice play by the third baseman. Throws across his body and just beats Connor Hallenbach. Beautiful play. 5-3. Big moment there for Elliot Harris to get the leadoff hitter. So it's 1 out, nobody on. And the batter is now Charlie Simulus. So we asked Coach Zach, since he's a holdover on the staff.
Yeah.
He coached for me, and then we asked him about the coaching change and what that's meant to the Hiller program. And after this pitch, breaking pitch, low and in on Charlie, 1 ball, no strikes. He said the primary coaching change was that the new coach was better looking and used less foul language.
Than you.
Than me, yeah.
Well, maybe one is true, but I can't see both of those being true.
Yeah, and we don't even need to mention
Right.
which one might be true.
That's
But better looking and less foul language.
how dare he?
Yeah, well, the foul language, I have an excuse if you know where I was raised. So.
Right.
Which brings me back as there's a break in the
You
action.
didn't finish your story.
I didn't
Coach,
finish my
earlier.
story in my
Right.
last game. So a couple funny things about the last game. My very last game, we had won, I think at that time, 19 straight games. We were number 1 in the state. And the only team that had beaten us was in week number 5, a former, you may remember him. I don't think many people here will, but pitched to Charlie Simulus high. Was a former nasty boy for the Cincinnati Reds, Rob Dibble.
I do remember him.
So he was the only
Yeah.
pitcher. He beat us 4-3, and then our coach pulled the bus over on the way home because somebody had the audacity to speak, and he read us the riot act, and we rattled off 19 straight wins. So we're in the state quarterfinals playing at the University of New Haven, and we're playing a 10-10 team that we should handle pretty well. After all, we're 22-1. Ball to Charlie is high, and the count runs to full. And we're taking batting practice at our school before heading over to University of New Haven, which was across the street. And our entire starting lineup, like 8 of the 9 played Division I or Division II college baseball. Fastball up and in, fought off by Charlie. Dribbler to Harris, flips to the first baseman, and there's 2 outs. All 9 of us used the same bat. You'll remember the old green and silver Easton.
Oh, my God, I
Yeah.
love those.
I love that bat. So my cousin was on our team, and we were hitting through the order.
That was an expensive item back then.
Back
to have
then,
one of those bats.
That was a really expensive. I think
Yeah.
it was $49.95.
Yeah, that's
So-
yeah.
So before the game, my cousin is taking BP, and we would just pass the bat from one person to another. 1-0 from Lenny Onken, and the top split and popped off the bat.
That dark plastic thing that was
That
on the
dark
top, right?
Plastic
Yeah.
thing that made the bat usable.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the first time I had ever attended a funeral for a bat. As our whole team just
A full burial.
the next day we had the full burial.
Wow.
But we stood around in the gym where we were hitting and looked at it, and we all had to find another bat.
Oh.
And you probably can figure out how the story ends. We lost the game to a 10-10 team who went on to win the state championship.
Because of the bat.
Because of the bat, obviously.
Mm.
I ended up on deck, which probably means the game just ended one batter earlier than it would have. But I remember that memory of not wanting to leave that dugout for the last time. No matter how many youth or college games I played, there's nothing that rivaled my time as a high school baseball player. And I know you talk just as fondly about your experience with Coach Manolo.
Yeah, and I know, Coach, that you've introduced me over the years to some of your former baseball players, and I even got the privilege of meeting Coach Marcucci at your Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and I think one time before that, and I know you've remained friends with those guys for decades and decades and decades, and all of them that I've met have been terrific, man. Terrific gentlemen.
Yeah, that's the core of high school baseball. So let me reset it for you. Lenny Onken is on first base with 2 outs, and the batter now is, I'm going to have to figure this out. Do we have a pinch hitter? I'm not sure who you
Can't
have.
see a number yet. 18.
Okay, so this is hitting in the spot there. This is 18. This is Sean McCann getting his first at bat with a runner on first. Yeah, so Coach Makuchi and I have remained lifelong friends. We went to dinner with our wives. We amazingly got married on the same date. His was many years
You
earlier.
married Coach Makuchi. I'm confused now.
I did not. We were close. We weren't that close. So we share an anniversary day. We're lifelong friends. He was at my wedding. I was at the wedding of his kids, and with all the games on and off, that's the things I remember the most. Attending some of the weddings of my former players, and including Coach Anderson's. I was at his wedding day celebration. So that's the essence, and we're really happy that we built that kind of camaraderie and family at Hopkinton that you were a great part of, and so many people.
I do actually, Coach, remember the first time you introduced me to Coach Marcucci because you had him speak at our softball banquet one year.
That's
I
right.
Totally
Line
forgot.
drive hit directly at Kevin Hurley by Sean McCann. Hit it on the screw. So we're going to go to the 7th inning, and the score still remains 6-5. Yeah, those 5 years we coached softball, we talked about it last broadcast, with 5 of my favorite years of coaching, and Coach Marcucci came up and gave us gave a speech to the girls.
Well, I don't think the girls thought he existed because you mentioned him a lot to the girls about how tough he had been, but how much of an impact he had been on your life, and a mentor as a coach and a person. And I think they thought he was a fictional character until he walked into the room that night and walked up to the podium. I thought the girls were going to pass out. But he's real.
Yeah, well, actually, though, when they met him, then it proved that he was a fictional character because he's quite unique. The New Haven is about 2 hours and 14 worlds away from Hopkinton, so they saw a very different person, but just a quality person. He delivered a great message that night.
He did. He sure did.
And you might have overheard that, but we just heard that the Hillers softball team has walked off victoriously. So I believe it's going to come down to their last game to see if they, and that might be Newton North. I'm not exactly sure who that final game is against. We can check on that. But if they win it, they'll be off to the state tournament, which would be quite an accomplishment. They have 6 seniors and love that opportunity to play in the state tournament. We really enjoyed that in our time. We got to go to the state tournament all 5 of those years. Yeah. 11-3 a final. Hopkinton softball over Westwood.
Coach, I don't know if the camera was able to pick that up, but Coach Zach just made an appearance on the field. He's so quick, I don't know if the camera was able to catch that. We might have to replay it in slow motion, but Coach Zach came onto the field.
Yeah, we appreciate any sighting we get now that he's not coaching third base. We take advantage of that. So leading off is cleanup hitter Danny Sullivan, the right fielder, against Sean McCann, who dips down again, jumps ahead, 0-1. Westwood would certainly feel a lot more comfortable if they can add an insurance run. The Hillers want to keep him right here. That ball's popped straight up in front of the Westwood dugout, converging on it. Sean McCann, he makes the play just outside the first base foul line.
Hillers have to be happy with that, Coach.
Great way to start. And the cleanup hitter. Now you have pitcher Elliot Harris. Be interested to see. I don't see anybody in the bullpen whether Elliot is going to attempt a complete game. He's got to be getting close to the 115 pitch limit.
There, Coach.
I'm sure he'd like to help himself. It's just amazing how much that second run can help you mentally on the mound and in the field in the bottom of the 7th. Another pitch rides in on Elliot Harris. The count runs to 0-2. So I'm starting to get a good look at why Sean McCann has been so effective and has a 0 ERA. The ball really, really moves. These are not comfortable swings at all. Comes sent, very herky-jerky, delivers high. The count now is 1-2 on Elliott Harris. Sean delivers. Off-speed changeup. Seen down by Harris. Count is even at 2-2. So here's a challenge pitch. He'll go right at him. This is best on best fastball right here. And he brushes him back. I think Elliott does have to go pitch, but he's a little upset with himself that he didn't wear that 2-2 pitch. So it's payoff pitch, 3-2. Huge situation here. Fastball by Sean. Again rides in on the ball. Does have a lot of movement, and he walks Elliott Harris to put that potential insurance run on first base with 1 out.
Pitchers a lot of courtesy running here, Coach.
They are. Pitchers and catchers. When you don't see him, and he looks very athletic, when you don't see that courtesy runner here, you know that Elliott can run, and he has a pretty sizable lead there. Sean is quick to the plate. Again, Peter Mahone makes the throw. We mentioned a lot last game that Peter is not afraid to throw the baseball. And Coach Anderson is really supportive of him throwing it around. His former coach from a year ago was less supportive of him throwing it around.
Yeah, he was a little more conservative. Yeah.
He was a little older and stressed. So the batter now is number 13, DH Patrick Cassavant. Elliott at first. He's off to the races. Peter quickly throws to second. Scooped by Frankie. Outstanding play and applies the tag. Quick feet by Peter Mahone. That was a big-time play by Frank Apettisano to scoop and apply the tag. No argument from Elliott Harris.
Well, you called that again, Coach, that he left the pitcher in without a courtesy run on first base and predicted his speed and that something might be in the works, and you were right again.
Yeah, it's a great job by Peter and by Frank. Ground ball now to Ray Robichaud. He flips to first. And that potential insurance run is by the wayside. So the Hillers have kept themselves in this ball game. I think we have the makings of a wonderful walk-off victory on senior night.
Sure would be nice.
Going into the bottom of the 7th, the score is Hopkinton trailing by 1, 6-5. And we'll be back in a minute for the potential comeback. Okay, so Elliott Harris is back on the mound for the 7th inning. He's going the distance. It's his to win or lose. Frank Apettisano will be leading it off for the Hillers. And they really want to flip this over. You have the 8-9 one-hitters who really need the bottom of the order here to set the table.
Wolverine pitcher's coming out again, Coach. You called that going for a complete game.
He's there. He does it all. He hits in the middle of their lineup. Obviously can run the bases and has really battled. So let's see what Frank can do. They say so often that person that makes the big play in the top half of the inning leads off the bottom half, and there it is. Frank made an outstanding play, picking a ball and applying a tag at second last inning. The delivery is low, gets to the backstop, And the count is 1-0. Or 1-1. I'm not sure. Missing a few bulbs on the scoreboard. Pitching out of the stretch. Frank drills the ball deep to left field in the gap, moving over Casavant, and he makes the play. So that's a well-hit ball. I apologize. That's Tommy Teixeira in left field for the Wolverines, who makes the play. And now with one out, the batter is Jack Interante. Jack had a big battle last time, but resulted in a hit by pitch. Now he needs to set the table. Fastball, he jumps it, fouls it off to the right side. Maybe Jack can go to work on that. Saw the fastball, he put a good swing on it. If you're going to guess or look for something, you might want to look off speed here. And you got the off speed, which could have been a fastball. I have no idea.
No. Off speed. Off speed.
And the count is 1-1. Another fastball up. So he's challenging. 2 balls.
Could have been an off-speed pitch that caught the wind, too, Coach. It is windy here today.
So the count 2-1. Any way he can, Jack Interante needs to get to that bag. Again, he challenged with the fastball. I think he's going to live and die with that fastball on Jack, as he fouls 2 off to the right side by the Westwood dugout. And the old adage is you don't want to speed up the bat, right? So he may stay with that fastball. But he's given Jack 4 looks at it. I'm hoping he does, and Jack can time this up. And he froze him. Froze him with a hard slider. Taken for a 3rd strike. So the Wolverines are 1 out away for the number 9 hitter, Ray Robichaud. Played an outstanding game tonight. So Ray with some athleticism. Got to get to the first base bag, get himself in scoring position with the top of the order. Waiting on deck. 1-0 to Ray. Fastball at the knees, and the count now is on 1-1 on Ray Robichaud. Left-handed hitter. I've been impressed with Harris's tenacity, focus. Fastball again at the knees, again called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Coach Anderson imploring Ray Robichaud to compete. Get on the dish and compete. This is where that tenacity, this is about will. Hanging all over the dish, trying to make things uneasy for Elliot Harris. 1-2 pitch. Tries that hard slider again, stays high, and it's 2-2. Got to be all in on fastball here for Ray. Top of the order. Elliott wants a challenge. Last thing he wants is to run full on the 9-hitter. Elliott delivers. Fastball down. Too close to take, and Ray fouls it off. There's the compete. Even though Ray's a really good hitter, the other team is just simply going to say, you know, this is your 9 guy. You got to go after him. You don't want the catalyst to come up. So 2-2 count. Let's see if he gets another fastball. He does, and it's put in play. Dribbler up the middle. Tough play to shortstop. It's going to be a close one. Bang, bang, and he calls him safe. I say he calls him safe because I was kind of blocked out. Little disagreement from the Westwood side. I don't know if you got any kind of look at that, Coach, but
I just talked to the judges. They've ruled him safe as well, Coach.
You went to video replay.
Video replay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ray Robichaud does his job. He battles with 2 strikes, beats out the throw from the second baseman who played it on the forehand. So you have a runner on first with 2 outs. Joe Carrazza up. I think we have a pinch runner in for, and I believe that Elliot Harris has reached his pitch limit. So there's a lot of shifting going on. See if we can figure out who it is. If you could get a number from the Hiller base runner, we can see who's pinch running for Ray Robichaud. On the mound for Westwood is number 23, and their roster goes up to number 20. So evidently this is an illegal player for Westwood who's not on the roster. He's a transfer in from Belmont Hill. So it's a big, tall, right-handed hitter. Big, tall, right-handed pitcher from Westwood, number 23. See if we have another. No, there is no 23 on the roster.
No.
So a really, really good performance by Elliot Harris. Things started out great for him, went south, and he stayed in and he battled. Relieved now with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. I got to think he's reached his limit. So 2 years ago, pitch counts were implemented. Massachusetts was the last state in the United States to implement pitch counts. We went to federation rules, they call it. So a starting pitcher can max at 115 pitches. I would imagine that Elliott hit that limit here because
he didn't. He was real close.
Yeah, and but there is some reasoning to not give the top of the order one more look at him. And again, we don't know who this pitcher is, but it could be their closer, could be their a more trusted arm. Is it number 17? Okay. So number 17, Will Morgan is pinch running at first base for Ray Robichaud. So it's a big spot for Will Morgan. I was told by Coach Anderson that he, in his first appearance, scored the winning run against, I think that might have been the Norwood game, against Norwood. So he has another opportunity here to score a very big tying run in a critical TVL large game. So a little uncomfortable with seeing the signs. Catcher, freshman catcher John Bertone makes a trip to the mound. Apologize, we don't have a name for you on the Westwood pitcher. But he retreats behind the plate, ready to face senior captain Joe Carrazza with the potential tying run in the person of Will Morgan at first. The pitch is high. Very difficult situation. You've been sitting on the bench all night. It's a little chilly now. And you're coming in and you're facing an all-league performer. It's 1-0. Pitch up. Joe a little anxious, chasing on that. Swings through it. It's 1-1. Will Morgan with a standard league at first. Doesn't extend. Overhand curveball is a good one. Again, Joe swings through it. So now you're going to see Joe's mantra. He's going to get all over the dish, as he says, and force this tall right-hander to challenge him. And there it is. On cue, he takes another one off the shoulder, claps his way down to first base, and now the winning run sits on first base, Joe Carrazza. With his speed, though, Coach, Charlie Petruni hits a gap. This game could be over. So as exciting as it gets on senior night, it's first and second, 2 outs. Charlie Petruni up. potential tying run will in the person of Will Morgan at second. Speedster Joey Carrazza at first. Healthy cut there by Charlie Petruni, fouls it straight back, and the count sits at 0-1. Exciting game. I see Elliot Harris is now at third base, wiping his sweaty palms, a little nervous here. Would love to get a one hopper to him. And that ball is hit to right. It's going to fall. A diving. That's going to be the ball game. That's a diving attempt by the right fielder. It gets by. Joey Carrazza comes around third. Sliding into third base with a triple, Charlie Petruni. The Hillers celebrating on senior night, coming back from 6-0 to win in walk-off fashion, 7-6. Just an unbelievable competitive baseball game. Character shown. Coach Anderson said to Coach Mulvey as the third key to the game that we didn't get a chance to mention to you, that the third key was on senior night, seniors have to step up. Well, as Joey Carrazza crosses the plate with the winning run, I think the seniors, from Lenny Onken to Frank Pedisano to Jack Interante and Joey Carrazza and all the rest, they certainly stepped up. So we couldn't have picked a better game to do. I know Coach Anderson lamented that we showed up initially because the only other time we did it, they lost, and we assured him, you assured him,
a win.
you promised a win, and you made that prediction.
Be invited back again.
This would have been the last broadcast, but now we just won't be invited back because of competence. So we really appreciate and thank everybody for hanging with us despite the fact that we didn't have our electronics and kind of flubbed our way through a lot of the information. I want to thank Coach Mulvey for joining me once again, and all our HCAM personnel and camera people. We would ask that you would stay with us. We're going to sign off as broadcasters, but we ask that you stay with us for the Senior Day ceremony, which will be covered live on HCAM. So we thank you once again, and the final score is Hopkinton 7 in walk-off fashion over Westwood 6. Good night.
right. I apologize. I'm reading off my my phone. So all right, first of all, thank you to all the senior parents for all your hard work preparing this ceremony, and thank you for all your support this year. Just want to give a quick rundown of the seniors' careers. So they had the unfortunate COVID freshman year, so they didn't have a freshman year. Unfortunately, they had a shortened sophomore year due to COVID, but many were role players on the team that made it to the state finals. Junior year, many of them were huge contributors to a team that reached the Elite Eight in the tourney. Senior year, they've clinched a spot in the tournament. Had some huge wins, such as a 13-3 blowout win versus Severian, the number 3 team in D1 right now. A 10-6 win against the league champs at Holliston. A 7-3 win in a 12-inning battle with Norwood. Shutout wins versus Ashland and Norton, and a decent win about a few minutes ago. So, we have a bunch of multi-sport athletes who had outstanding success in other sports like football, golf, and the state finalist hockey team. We also have a number of guys who are year-round baseball players who train hard all year to have a great senior year. This was an interesting year to start. These guys went from having, to me, one of the greatest high school coaches of all time to me. After I took the job, everyone said, this will be great, you know all the kids. In reality, this is the first senior class in a long time where I haven't known a lot of the guys, and I was very, very excited to get to know all of them and develop relationships with them. I think it took a while for us to collectively get on the same page, but I think we figured each other out over the last few weeks, and we're hitting our stride now. They have a variety of personalities in this class. You have kids that will literally run through a fence for the team, as we saw in game 1. We have extremely laid-back kids. We also have angry competitors, and I mean angry. We also have some of the most even-keeled personalities you'll ever see. The biggest thing I can say for this group is that they're a collection of winners who know how to handle adversity, as you saw tonight. They stay together in every tough situation, again, tonight, and battle as a unit. They never quit, and I think this is our 6th or 7th come-from-behind win this year. I'm looking forward to seeing what this group does in the tournament. Without further ado, here is your Hiller baseball class of 2023. All right, Captain Connor Hallenbeck.
Oh, just kidding.
Hang on.
Thank you.
Captain Frank Appenasano. Captain Joey Carrazza.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe, Steve.
Hold on one more. Thank you.
Charlie Stimulus.
Hey, Tim. Hey, Nick.
Thank you.
Joe Scardino. Lenny, Onken. Jack Interante. And figuring that this guy goes last tonight, Ray Robichon.
I'm allowed to cry. Jesus.
Can we get the whole Coach, can we get
All
the
right,
whole
now we
group?
get to go put the #1 team in the state on Thursday.
Wait a
Let's
minute,
go.
wait a minute, wait a minute! Family's coming over, we'll do a group shot with all the seniors. Seniors, if you want to be in the front, your families will go right behind you. They stand in a ball. Yeah, that's not going to work great. How about you guys go down on a knee, and your families can fill in behind you. Does that work?
Yep, it works. Emily, stand behind your kid. Look here. Come on, and don't do this. Okay, then don't get him. It's fine.
Slide left.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on one more. You guys have. Awesome. And then we'll just get the seniors when you're Last one. Looks pretty. Yeah, I like that.
Connor sucking it. Oh no, Sim sucking it. Yeah.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Sim's too big for the
Coach, Nash. Coaches.
Hey, coach.
Come on, Zach. New era. Zach, come on, new era. Come on,
Zach.
New era.
Let's go, let's go. Yeah. On a hop, on a hop.
Right here. I think we're done.
All right, let's go.
Thank you.
Yeah.